everyone, this is Jennifer. I think I'm live here. Just double checking. Okay, well, welcome. It's really okay. Let's see. It doesn't look like it is sharing my screen. Let me see here. And hi, everyone. It's great to see everyone. Hello, Ecuador. Thank you for telling me I look good, especially with my cold. And I am doing very well. Okay. A few more things. I will definitely be taking questions at the end of class. So if you have questions, please hold those until the end of class, and I will be happy to answer those. Also, just a few things to keep in mind. We're going to go through all 50 states, so it's going to be rather quick getting through each state. Just a few things to focus on. Focus on the word stress and just try to imitate. Okay, so let's start with state number 1. We're going to go in alphabetical order. Alabama. So as you see, I wrote the states out in syllables for you. I tried to use regular spelling as much as possible, so not to confuse things, but I did use the schwa symbol, which is this upside down E, and I used that because I want you to really focus on using that super short up sound in a lot of these words. Okay, so let's try this again. I'm going to say it very slow each beat. Al, bam, Alabama, 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 Alabama. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and show you my face while I things to focus on that short schwa too. A beautiful state. If you ever have a chance to go and visit, I highly recommend it. We have Alaska. Okay, and let's do each beat again. Alaska, 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 Alaska. All right, I'll show you my face. Alaska, Alaska. So again, really focus on that short beat, super short at the beginning, your longest schwa sound. So if you're working on your word stress and your syllable stress, this class is really for you because we have a lot of those schwa sounds. Okay, Dimitri is saying that I have a bad network to reset the network. Is anyone else having trouble seeing me? Everything seems to be okay on my end. I'm actually watching from another iPad as well. So someone let me know if we're okay here. Okay, and thank you, Bonker. You're so kind. Okay, I'm going to keep going because everyone seems like they're seeing me just fine. So we have 2 schwa sounds here. Okay, so let's start with the air. Make sure you move your mouth for that first syllable. Air. Make that R nice and long and strong. Add that syllable schwa. Zone. So long O in zone and then the short Arizona, 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 Arizona. Okay, and then so you can see me, Arizona, Arizona. I know I keep saying this. Make sure you really focus on the syllable lengths here if you watched my class in word. So the more okay, let's break that down. R, again, nice long movement vowel. R, short kun in the middle, and then saw. I wrote this out as the word saw, like the tool that we use to cut wood. However, the W sound on the end is not pronounced. So that's, again, a silent letter in my notes for you, but I just wanted to use real words as much as possible. Again, this word is spelled with an S, the true word Arkansas, but we do not pronounce that final S, just like we do not pronounce the final S in my current state of Illinois. So let's try this again. Arkansas. Excuse me. Arkansas, Arkansas. Arkansas, Arkansas, Arkansas. All right. And moving right along, we have such a gorgeous state. Again, another place you must visit. I lived here for a while. We have California. California. The mistake I hear the most with this word, California, is that people will say fornia, iya. There is no extra E on there. 4 beats. California. 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 Okay. California. 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 Okay, awesome. Sorry, there's a lot of back and forth here. I'm just not quite sure how to do this. And sorry, my phone is ringing. Let me shut that off. Okay. And then next we have, sorry about that, it's going to keep going. Colorado. 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 Again, I'm using true words here. The word dough has a lot of silent letters in it, that O, that U-G-H. However, again, I put that there because I wanted to make a point that you can kind of memorize how to pronounce some words with using real words. So again, call at the beginning, that really nice short schwa, Colorado, 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 Colorado. Okay, Connecticut. Let's break it down. Connecticut. 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 Something I'm doing here with the T before I show you my face is that I'm not exploding that T at the end. I'm not saying Connecticut. I'm actually just holding that T and I'm not exploding it. And I'm doing that by keeping the tip of my tongue behind the back of my top front teeth. Connecticut, 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 Connecticut. Okay, so we have Delaware. We're going to look at 4 beats. Del, really short, schwa, and then where. Actually, now I remember why I had the air below. It's because this word, where, is actually how we pronounce the word, or how we spell the word. But then down here, air is actually how we pronounce it. So Delaware, 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 Delaware. Okay. Okay, we have 2 pronunciations for this state. You can say Florida, just like the floor that you walk on. Florida, Florida, Florida. I also hear some people say Florida, Florida, Florida. So what you're going to do there is you're going to add an extra schwa syllable, and you're going to make sure that that is super short, and then you're going to go from 2 beats to 4. So let's listen to the difference. Florida, 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 Florida. And let me show you what that looks like. Florida, 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 Florida. So we have Florida, Florida. 2 beats in this word. We have jor with the J. We don't pronounce that as a G and the G. Georgia, 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 Georgia. Again, be really careful of this IA here at the end. We don't say Georgia. It's just 2 quick beats. Georgia, Georgia. Georgia, Georgia, Georgia. Okay, full disclaimer. This word is pronounced, the state is actually pronounced differently than I'm going to pronounce it by people who live in Hawaii and also people who are native to Hawaii. And so keep in mind that I'm going to teach you the mainland version of how to pronounce this word. Hawaii. So Y, like the word Y. Also, you could think of it as just the letter name Y, Hawaii, 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 Hawaii. Okay, let me check questions really quickly here. Okay. Oh, and I'm so glad that the topic is interesting. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, I forgot to show you Hawaii before I move on. Hawaii. We have Idaho. We're going to say I like your I, or when you're referring to yourself, I, duh, really short schwa in there, and then long O at the end, ho. Idaho. 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 And my current state that I'm living in right now, Illinois. So no S on the end, silent letter here. So we're going to say ill, like, oh, I'm feeling sick. Illa, that nice schwa syllable in the middle, and then end with noi. Go ahead and make that a really long oi at the end. Illinois. 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 And let me show that one to you. Illinois, Illinois, Illinois. I actually have a whole lesson on this that I just posted not too long ago. So if you are interested, you can do a search for that. And I also teach you how to pronounce Chicago, which is not pronounced the way that it is spelled. Next is the state right next to Illinois, Indiana. 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 Okay, this one always throws people. 3 beats for so few letters, right? 4 letters and lots of beats in this word. 3 syllables or 3 beats. Iowa. 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 Iowa, Iowa, Iowa. Moving right along, we're all the way into K states now. We have Kansas. And you could think of this as the word can, sus. Kansas, Kansas, Kansas. You can also say Kansas, 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 Kansas. Okay, now we have Kentucky. You can think of this one of two ways, and either will be correct for you here. You can say Ken like it's spelled. Ken, Kentucky, Kentucky, Kentucky. Or you can use that really short sound and do Kentucky, Kentucky, Kentucky. So again, they almost sound the same. And in fact, most of my students would say that they sound the same. There's actually a slight difference. So first, I'll do this one. Kentucky, 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 Kentucky. Kentucky, 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 Kentucky. Okay, let me check here. Not alone. Sounds like anime. Okay, I'm not a big anime fan, but I'll take your word for it. And Dimitri, you are in Thailand and it is 3:48 a.m. Thank you so much for being here. That is really, really late. Okay, next we have Louisiana. Really difficult to kind of figure out what to say from the spelling here. So we're going to say la with a really short we, z, and Louisiana, 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 Louisiana. Really nice one here. Super easy breezy. One syllable. Maine, the state, is pronounced exactly the same as Maine, the word. Maine, Maine, Maine. Maine, Maine, Maine. Just be sure on this one, a mistake that I do hear some of my students do is that they'll say Maine with another M. Probably how you would pronounce it if you just read the word, but we're actually going to say Maryland. Maryland. So I wrote mare out like a female horse. And the reason I did that was because that's how it's spelled. And we want to make sure, though, that we are using this nice air vowel. Okay. Maryland. 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 Excuse me. Okay, so not alone. I thought it was Louisiana. Again, I should have given you a disclaimer. You are correct. People from Louisiana do often say Louisiana. I know I'm saying that completely wrong because I'm not from that state and I'm not from the South. But yes, there is a different pronunciation for Louisiana that you probably hear in movies. So thank you for pointing that out. Okay, we have Massachusetts. All right, lots of letters, very confusing looking word. but actually it is not that difficult. And actually, let me do a quick Google. I think I might have spelled this wrong. I think I might need another E in there. No, I don't. I do have that spelled correctly. Massachusetts. Okay. So think of this in the word mass, like you're going to a Catholic church. Mass, short schwa, chew, like you chew your food up, and then sus. Massachusetts. 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 Next, we have Michigan. Okay, so again, we have this CH, but we're actually going to pronounce it like an SH in this case. That short schwa syllable, and gun. Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. Michigan, Michigan, and Michigan. Similar to okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, everyone. Everything just quit unexpectedly. So let me have 1 second here to make sure that I am back up. I'm checking on my iPad. Looks like it's coming up. Okay, possibly. Let's see. All right. Still not up. Let's see if anyone can see me. Okay, it looks like I'm back. Okay, let's keep going. We have Minnesota. Soda, like the drink. Think of it like that. The ending soda can be like soda, like you're drinking a Pepsi or a Coke. So soda. Minnesota. 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 Okay. This sip e. And I wrote this like this because you could think of it as saying you're missing a sip. You had to miss a sip, which is exactly the same as saying this. Missa sip e. Mississippi. 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 Mississippi, Mississippi. So we have a state that has several pronunciations. I typically say Missouri, 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 Missouri. You will hear people, especially who live in the state, say Missouri, Missouri. I'm going to teach it this way because this is the way I say it. Missouri, Missouri. Missouri, Missouri. Next we have Montana. 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 Okay, on to the end states. We have Nebraska. 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 Let me take out this H. I oftentimes spell that that American sound, that really open with that H, but I think that might confuse some people. So let's try it like this. Nebraska. 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 And next, I know a lot of people have been to this state, Nevada. You might have been there to go gambling. So we have Nevada, 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 Nevada. All right. 2 words for a state. We have several of these. So I think this is our first one. We have New Hampshire. New Hampshire. New Hampshire. New Hampshire. That's how I say it. I have heard people say New Hampshire, New Hampshire, New Hampshire. Either is fine, but I'm going to stick with New Hampshire, which is this first one, because that's what I say. New Hampshire, New Hampshire. We have another new state coming up next. We have New Jersey. New Jersey, New Jersey, New Jersey. New Jersey, New Jersey. Okay, I'm back. I have no idea what is happening. I just keep getting completely kicked out of the program, and then I have to log back in through YouTube. So I'm not quite sure what the problem is. I'm assuming it's on YouTube's end, so thank you for bearing with me. All right, let's keep going, and we are going to go to our next state, New Mexico. New Mexico. New Mexico, New Mexico, New Mexico, New Mexico, New Mexico. And here's another state many of you have possibly visited. It's a very popular state. This is a city and a state in the United States. We have New York, New York, New York, New York. So you could visit New York, New York, which would be New York City in New York State. So New York here, and we're going to be getting into states. So if you are interested in that, you can check that out. So we have North Care, like the word care, like I care about you. That really short schwa, line, Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina. North Carolina. That I would love to visit. I haven't been here. North Dakota. North Dakota. North Dakota. North Dakota. North Dakota. North Dakota. Okay, another one of my favorite states, as I have lived here before, we have Ohio. Ohio, Ohio, Ohio. Okay, and if you have a chance, let me know what states you have visited. Ohio. Oklahoma. 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 Coming upon another beautiful state. Actually, every state that I've been to in the US, I think is beautiful and special in some way. But this state, really loved it. Oregon. 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 Beautiful hiking there in Oregon. 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 We have Pennsylvania. Pencil, like you write with a pencil. Even though just do keep in mind that we would pronounce the C as an S. Pennsylvania. 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 I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I actually have a video, silent H here. So we would say road, like where you drive your car. Road, I, like my I, or if I were to say I as in myself, Rhode Island. Rhode Island. Rhode Island. Rhode Island. Rhode Island. Rhode Island. Moving right along. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, the sound, good question. The sound of the schwa is always a short, I call it a short U sound, but you can think of it as that short letter A that we add to a word when we are saying, like using an article. So a pen, a pen. So yes, you can think of it that way. It's always that really short sound. It's very, very short. The key is that you want to make sure that you make that vowel super, super short. So great question. And here we have the schwa again. We have South Carolina. South Carolina. South Carolina. South Carolina. South Carolina. South Carolina. We have another South state we have coming up. South Dakota. 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 On to our T states next. Getting to the end here, we have Tennessee. So 10, like the number 10. Tennessee. 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 We have a large state next. Texas. 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 As I'm going through this, one thing that keeps coming up, and I hear this from so many of my students, is that spelling in English oftentimes does sound at the end of this word. I just struggle a little bit with how to spell the that ah sound, and this is how I tend to spell it. I tend to shy away from phonetic transcription just because so many people rely so heavily on it, and then that's actually learning one other thing and not thinking about or listening to the sound. So hopefully this will force you to listen a little bit more. We have, again, Utah, 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 Utah. Only one U state in the union. So now we have Vermont, 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 Vermont. Virginia, 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 Virginia. Be careful not to let that IA at the end sway you into saying Virginia. It's just 3 beats. Virginia, Virginia, Virginia. Virginia, Virginia. Washington. Washing, like you're washing your body. Washington. Washington, Washington, Washington. Washington, Washington. Let's go back there and let me touch on one quick thing before I move on. Let me make a little note here. Technically, the capital of the United States is not a state. It is a district. So we have Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. Make sure you say D.C. and make those really nice long D.C. Washington, D.C. So we have Washington and then Washington, D.C. And I'll say that so you can see me. Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C. Okay. West Virginia. So we just talked about Virginia not that long ago. Now we're just going to add the word west. West Virginia. West Virginia. West Virginia. West Virginia. West Virginia. Wisconsin. 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 This is another possibility to say it. It's so similar to saying son at the end, Wisconsin. If you say Wisconsin, that is going to be totally fine. Most people will say Wisconsin, 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 because that's that really short sort of schwa sound here at the end. But you can say Wisconsin with the word sin at the end, and that will be fine because they're very similar. So it's just actually making sure that that last beat is really, really short. Wisconsin, Wisconsin. And we have our last state. Wyoming. Wyoming, Wyoming, Wyoming. Wyoming, Wyoming. Okay, we got through all 50 states plus Washington, D.C. So you got 4. Hey, have you? And Javier. Okay, great. Thank you for helping others. I love when people do this. If you have suggestions to speak your native language, please leave them in the comment section. So Javier is saying that the ending of virginity, enye, it's like how you say it in Spanish. In Spanish class. So yeah, I did that some justice there. So does anybody have any questions before I go? I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, let's see if anybody has any. Maybe if you have any states or cities, cities or locations you'd like to learn how to pronounce, I'm happy to help. Thank you for joining me. Again, I'm going to try to do these once a month on a Friday. So if you have any suggestions for classes, please let me know. I have 2 other classes coming up. I have one on how to pronounce the days of the week in September and how to pronounce the letters O when they are together in words. That spelling pattern really throws me. Computer, you don't even have to